Could it be the reason why you've hit a glass ceiling or your business isn't performing at the rate that you want it to perform? Maybe you're not growing at the capacity. Maybe you're overly stressed. Maybe you don't have freedom. Is as a business owner, you have not learned the simple concept of, in order to multiply, you must first divide. Now, I know that sounds radical, but I want to take you today as an example, as a theme, to my weekend. This last weekend, I spent several hours in my blackberry patch. I love juicy blackberries on a hot summer day. So today I wore my Georgia Bulldog t-shirt here in studio because this is how I was rolling this weekend. It was hot. I mean, Tennessee is hot, and it is so dry right now that if you walked out and sneezed, you might catch the wood on fire. It is dry, but man, my blackberry patch is amazing. You know, a few years back, I planted this blackberry patch, and every year I spend a little bit of time in it just doing some basic work, and there are some principles that I was thinking about this week that you and I as business owners, they're simple, but if we just take time, pause, and divide, friends, we can multiply. I have this belief. I believe that you as a business owner can reach your wildest dreams. I believe that you as a business owner can change your life for the rest of your life by understanding simple value growth methodologies. And one of those methodologies is division. So there are 3 things that I noticed this week I was doing in the blackberry patch that you can do in your business. So I've applied these principles in my own company, and I've taught hundreds, if not thousands of business owners on how they too can multiply their business. The first thing I noticed I was doing this week is I had some shears. So when you're in a blackberry patch, there are thorns, and that's okay. Some of the sweetest berries on the end of a very thorny cane is what they're called. So if you see a blackberry patch, they look like long vines, but they're called blackberry canes. Whenever you go to pick a blackberry, there's often thorns on the cane, and that's okay. But in order for me to have very sweet, succulent berries, I have to first remove the dead or unprofitable items in my blackberry patch. Every year, a blackberry cane will die after it's produced. It will give the berry, and then it'll turn brown. So I take some cutters and I snip it at the ground level, and I pull the canes out, and I put them where I can run them over the mower or the bush hog. In addition to that, there are several things within my blackberry patch that pop up. Every year, these little squirrels, they take the oak acorns and they plant them in the blackberry patch. And so every summertime, I have these little 4 to 5 to 6 inch oak trees that pop up in the blackberry patch. Another thing that happens is I end up getting the wrong type of berry. So when I first started my blackberry patch, I put a bunch of different berries inside there to see which berry would perform the greatest in my particular ecosystem. And one particular berry, it bloomed everywhere. The vines and the canes went everywhere, except it wasn't very good. It was these little, what called snowberries. They're little small things about the size of a pencil head, and they're bright white when they're ripe. They're not black, they're white berries. They tasted okay, but man, they were so hard to get to. They would break your hands out, but they weren't as sweet as the really thick blackberries. They just weren't as good. So what I had to do this time is I was removing the dead or unprofitable items from my blackberry patch. I cut the old canes out that weren't producing anymore. I got rid of all the weeds, the oak trees that were inside there. And then I totally mowed down these white berries that were not giving me the flavor that I desired. Same is true in your business. I'm certain right now you have unprofitable clients. Clients that you're attached to, but they're just not providing you the revenue that you desire. I am certain right now that you have things that you're trying to sell which are the wrong fit for your current marketplace. Or perhaps, just perhaps, whenever you started your company, you put a lot of different offers out there, and you have some of these offers with 1 or 2 or 3 different clients in it, but the bulk of your revenue comes from 1 or 2 other offers. Friends, in order for you to multiply your business, you first have to remove the things that are unprofitable or not needed at this phase in your company. What is it right now in your company that you should be pruning, that you should go in and just cut out, completely remove? Is it a service? Is it a client group? Is it an employee? Is it a vendor? Is it a marketing strategy that you're just tied to? Remember the old saying, what got you here will not get you there. So friends, in order for me to have luscious, sweet, bust in your mouth blackberries and make some blackberry jelly and blackberry ice cream, blackberry jam, Every year I have to go in and remove the unprofitable and undesired items from the blackberry patch. The second thing that you have to divide in order to multiply is you have to snip the areas which are profitable. So after I've cleaned my blackberry patch, I've taken all the dead stuff out, I've taken all the oak trees out, I've took the blackberries out of there that just didn't perform like I wanted to perform. The next thing I have to do is I have to look at my best performing plants. Every year in the summertime, the blackberries that are going to produce next year shoot these very tall canes out. They'll get 7, 8, 9 foot if you're not careful. So I can look in my blackberry rows and I can see where the new canes are coming up, which will be next year's vines. What I do is I go in and take my snippers and I snip them off right above the top, usually about 5 foot in height. Now, what happens with a blackberry bush is when you snip it, all the nutrients that the plant is bringing up from the ground begins to push out additional branches on that one very sturdy, very, very strong cane. In order for me to grow more berries, I have to cut and cap my most profitable cane or my most profitable berry vine. The same is true in business. You've got to focus on the branches of your business or the canes of your business, the revenue sources of your business that provide the most profit. And you need to do a little bit of trimming, snip them. You know, we as a species, we want what we can't have. And whenever we look at profitability, in order for us to drive profitability, we just need to snip it, limit its upside growth. By doing so, clients will pay more for that offer than if you just leave it wide open. It's a scarcity mindset that we all have. The same is true in nature. God designed it very amazing, where if I just snip the blackberry bushes off, that bush will produce 10, 11, 12, 15 times, depending on the year. It can produce a ton more produce, a ton more berries than if I just leave it alone. You see, your most profitable segments in your company oftentimes need to be snipped. You need to simplify the profitable areas. There's a reason why your areas, certain areas of your company are more profitable than others. So as a business owner, you've got to go in and say, why is this offer much more profitable than this offer? And if we can limit the availability of that offer, then we end up producing more revenue from that offer. Now, another thing that's unique about whenever you snip a berry is they get very heavy. They get very heavy because they're going to fill up your freezer with luscious blackberries. The same is true about your business. If you find that very profitable offer that is outperforming everything else and you snip it, you limit it, you treat it, you do whatever you need to do, you're going to have to prop it up. You see, after I snip these canes next year, I have to put wire underneath these canes in order to hold them up off the ground because they're going to be just sagging with tons and tons of berries. Emily and I, last Saturday, we picked 2 gallons of berries sitting in one place off of one cane. That's a lot of berries in one location, just picking blackberries because they were delicious, because we had limited us upside and then we had to support it. Same is true in your business. Once you find your profitable position, you make it simple and you limit it upside, then you're going to put the resources around it in order to hold it up, in order for it to afford the fruit, to hold the fruit that it's going to bring to your business. It may be a particular product that carries 80% of your revenue. It may be a particular service that carries 80% of your revenue. This particular product or this particular service that carries 80% of your revenue should also have 80% of your attention. You should be propping it up, much like I do these blackberry canes. Now that seems awful simple, but I can't tell you how many business owners I consult with that come in and I look at them like, look, dude, 80% of your revenue is coming from this particular offer here, but yet you're spending 80% of your time over here in this offer. Why? Well, because it's doing fine. Well, then focus our attention here, limit its upside, and we'll produce more profit. We'll produce more margin, and we'll grow the value of our companies. Now, the third thing I have to do every year in my blackberry patch is I have to propagate for next year. So now after I've gone through and I've taken all the unwanted things out of it, the old berries that I didn't want or just didn't produce very well, got all the oak trees out that my little squirrel friends plant in the ground, get all the dead canes out, and I go through and I start snipping the tops off of these berries, the next thing I have to do is I have to prepare for next year. You see what's interesting about a blackberry, the way God designed it, is I can take the top, I can snip it, and then I can bend it over, and I can bury that top in the ground. What's going to happen is when I take that top and I bury it about 4, 5, 6 inches in the ground and it stays there, it's going to begin shooting roots down. And in this wintertime, I can go in and snip the cane, cut it in half. And now where I had one blackberry plant producing a group of berries, I've now multiplied it where I now have 2 blackberry plants. You see, every year I have to engage old plants, old blackberry canes, to grow new life. Same is true in your business. You see, I'm certain right now, if you were to segment your clients, you have some clients that were once profitable. These clients, you can remember them. They were perhaps there in your infancy of your business. Maybe they were there when your second product rolled out, your second service offering rolled out, and they bought in hook, line, and sinker. But now your business has grown, and now you feel loyal to them, as we should, but they're just not as profitable. Could it be that you just need to re-engage them, slowly nurture them to where they can produce more clients of today's caliber for you? You know, I've done this with so many of our coaching clients and our one-on-one, and so many of my own clients where they were once very profitable and they were fun, but just now they're just kind of just there. I nurtured them. I re-engaged them. I planted them back into the culture of our company. And where I only had before a few clients who were producing, I was able to double my production by just simply re-engaging old clients or clients who are from the past who may not be up to date with my current offers. It's a lot easier to re-engage old clients than it is to try and produce new clients. Let me give you an example. If I did not re-engage my old blackberry bushes this year, replant them back into the soil, then next year I'd be having to go out and buy blackberry bushes. So it costs me more money not to re-engage the plant. Same is true in your business. If you don't re-engage your clients who are once your raving fans, get them back into your company, friends, then you're going to spend a ton more dollars on acquisition costs to go out and now introduce your product, your service, your company, your team, whoever it is, whatever it is, to a whole new group of clients who's never heard of you. That's an expensive proposition. All you may need to do is propagate for next year, propagate for next year in your season of your business. Take your clients and restructure them into your company so that 18, 24, 36 months from now, they will provide new life to your business. You see, as business owners, when we look at our companies and we see these clients who are not actively engaged, they're still engaged at some point, but maybe not to the magnitude that we know we can help them. They haven't left, so there's a beacon of trust there. You as the business owner know exactly what that client needs. Now it's time for you to spend a little bit of soft dollars and re-engage them. You see, friends, if we learn a simple concept as business owners, in order for us to multiply, we must divide. We can take our companies and radically grow them, radically change the outcome of our company. But it doesn't go without pain. I am cut to pieces. In fact, I've been pulling thorns out of my fingers all weekend. I had one in my finger this morning as I was working out that was killing me. I had to get a pocket knife out and cut the thorn out. Whenever we go through this type of work, there's always going to be pain. That's the reality of the situation. But if we truly want to multiply, if I want to see my blackberry patch produce at the same or greater next year, if I want to see it multiply where we may get 30 gallons of blackberries this year, next year I get 100 gallons of blackberries in the same location, the same blackberry patch, in order for me to do that, I have to follow a couple of steps. In order for me to multiply, I have to divide, I have to cut away, get rid of the things that aren't profitable. I have to focus on and support the things which are profitable, and I need to propagate for next year. So let me challenge you. As a business owner, are you focusing on multiplying? If you are, if you want exponential growth, I submit to you, friends, it first begins with dividing. Hey, if you do me a favor on the YouTube channel, leave me a comment below. Let me know what in your company you are going to divide. What are you going to propagate? What are you going to rebuild? What are you going to pour fertilizer back on and get it re-engaged? What are you going to cut? Friends, I'm telling you, if you can do this, then just like I'm going to be enjoying some sweet, sweet Tennessee blackberries next year in my company, I'll also be enjoying some sweet NOI, some sweet profits, and some high value. Same is true for you. Until next time, y'all go out and make it a great day.